Welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and this episode we have another entry in Diamond Select's Marvel Select action figure series, and this one is now the perfect bad guy to take on our recently released Silver Centurion armor Iron Man. We got ourselves here Titanium Man. And I gotta tell you, Titanium Man, he is a beefy looking boy here. I mean, as I've said in the past with the other Diamond figure reviews I've done here, in my opinion, when Diamond does the really large characters, that is Diamond Select at their best. And I've looked at some Hulk figures on this channel, and feel as I haven't on this channel, in fact, but figures that they've done like the Hulk, like the Juggernaut, like Sabretooth, like some Venom as well, they've also made pretty big, Thanos. A lot of these really large characters, they do an amazing job, and to be quite honest too, the fact that their price doesn't really fluctuate depending on the size of the figure, that's also pretty amazing too, because this guy is still pretty affordable, whereas if it was a Marvel Legend, we'd be looking at probably like a $50, $60 figure or a Build-A-Figure if you're, really unlucky. But that's a lot of hype here to be talking about before we even actually bust this guy out of the packaging. So hey, let's cover that first, and let's talk about this box. And this box is basically what you get with all of the Marvel Select style figures. And it's one of the things that hasn't really changed at Diamond Select, because while other figure lines such as Lord of the Rings, Cobra Kai, The Crow, really anything else that they're doing these days is more or less coming in this style of packaging. I think only Iron Giant and one or two others don't come in this style now, but pretty much if it's Marvel, it's going to be this style packaging. And it's really big, really nice. You get a very large window to see everything that this toy comes with, and a pretty open, wide look at everything too. On one side of the figure, you've got his name, and you also got a really great illustration of the character in action. That's Titanium Man there with his helmet on, which is very, very impressive looking. And as we turn around to take a better look at the back of the box, you'll see here a great image of Titanium Man, which is just, it's rather plain because it's just him standing up, but man, he looks huge, doesn't he, in this? And it's definitely helped by the fact that the text on the side is also pretty tiny, which in my opinion is actually not really a great thing. That text is maybe a little bit too small, because it's not like there's really a lot of text there, so they definitely could have made that, I feel like, a little bit bigger. Unless they really were trying to do a kind of forced perspective look on this thing, but if that was the case, I still think it's kind of a flaw to do that. That said, bio is great, really nice, very compact, tells you just what you need to know. I think it's pretty much just right. And as always, these Marvel Select pieces let us know who the art team is behind this, and this one here was designed by Yuri Taming, and the piece was sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. This is a piece here that I think has a lot of potential for being much, much better than you guys might actually think, because, from first glance, it is kind of simple looking, but I think there's a lot of nuance to this guy. So let's find out if I'm actually right with my suspicions. Let's go ahead and get our Titanium Man out of the packaging and take a closer look at him from all angles. Alright, and here is our Titanium Man out of the packaging, and man, look at the size of this guy. I mean, I know it's a little hard to tell just from the shot, but this guy's enormous. And if you want to know exactly how big he is, let's go ahead and drop this ruler down next to him. You guys can see he is almost 10 inches tall. That is an enormous figure. And again, I gotta remind you guys, these Diamond Select figures, they don't really change in price. They are the one price. So you're not going to be having to buy like a Build-A-Figure like you would with Marvel Legends. This is what you get for the same price as any other normal figure, more or less, I believe, in the Marvel Select line from Diamond Select. That's an amazing value off the bat. Whether this thing is good or bad, it honestly doesn't matter, because just for that price point alone, it's really awesome. But hey, the great news is, from my initial reaction and overall looking at this thing just now, I mean, yeah, this thing looks pretty great. So let's go ahead and start from the top here, and literally we'll start from the top. Let's talk about his head sculpt. Does this look like our Titanium Man? Yeah, if you're thinking about a giant Russian dude who is based on the comic looks of any Russian characters from the mid-60s, yeah, no, this is totally your dude here. This is our Boris Bulsky, if you will. It's probably most likely meant to be the first one, so yeah, I'm going to go with this being Boris. He's got an awesome beard. I mean, yeah, no, this totally looks really, really cool. Very impressive looking head sculpt. I think it does the job. I mean, from every angle, it's cool. It's very menacing looking also. I really like the facial expression. I like the teeth. I like the paint job too. Paint job is one of those iffy things occasionally with Diamond Select, but I think they really got this very nicely done this time. I will say be careful with the beard, because I have seen some where the beard gets kind of, muddled across the face, but otherwise this is a good one here. I feel like I got a really great specimen to show off to you guys, because it really works on so many different angles. Like, looks really good here. And, one of the nice things too, by the way, about this particular head here, I collect Mythic Legions figures, and my first thought when I saw this was like, wow, this could totally be like a Mythic Legions figure I could absolutely use in scale with him, and just, for being just a menacing looking knight kind of character. Like, no, yeah, this totally gets the job done here. So, yeah, that is really awesome. Let's talk about the rest of what we're looking at here, though, which would be his body. And do we like this body here? I definitely do. I mean, like I said, I'm already envisioning him as being like this giant green knight to fit in with my Mythic Legions collection, almost more so than I am with my Marvel collection right now, even though he's a perfect fit for that, as we'll see in a few minutes. But this really harkens back to like the early days of Titanium Man. Just that really, really awesome looking outfit here, which, was really cool for the time, in my opinion. It's still one of the designs I think really holds up like that. Even the early Crimson Dynamo, I like how they look. They're totally dated, but they just look good, especially in this toy form here. I mean, wow, look at this. This is just so awesome looking. And I keep using that word, I think, just because like it literally feels like I'm in awe of how this figure looks. You know, my initial thoughts on this guy was that I wasn't really too impressed. And, you know, when you look at it head to toe, I mean, it is very kind of simple looking, but it's the little details, and it is kind of also the simplicity that work in its favor. And in particular, I think one of the things that I really like about this is the paint job on this guy here, and that's the fact that he is so metallic looking. I mean, this is a shiny coat of green paint that we got right here. This is like, you know, fresh looking chrome that just came out of the factory. I mean, I really like this really shiny, reflective shade of green. It adds so much to the character, especially when you really think about how many round parts are on this guy. You know, he's got all these orbs that are stuck to his chest. He's got these elongated orbs over here. You know, all of his muscles, everything. It's very round and it's very bulky looking. So that really lends itself in particular, I think, to just how shiny it is. And that shine adds dimension to it, which is much, much needed here. Yeah, no, this guy looks really, really awesome. And I'm going to keep saying that word just because it's really true in this case. I think the next place we go from here would be to talk about accessories. And that is the one thing we're a little bit slim on because, well, again, this is an enormous figure. It's a lot of plastic. It's also really heavy. So yeah, you're not going to get a ton of accessories with this figure, but you do get a few good ones here. So to start with, we do get an extra set of hands. These are gripping hands, which look good. Right now he's got closed fists on, but he has gripping hands. We're going to swap those out momentarily. And also, most important, of course, is we do get a second head. This is the helmeted version of the character, which I know it's actually accurate, but it's still just hilarious to me, like his little sad face. It's correct, it's comics accurate, it's still really funny and kind of cute. So let me go ahead and swap these parts out. Let's see how that goes. Okay, well, great. That was really easy. It's just a ball joint. Hopefully it goes back on just as easy. Let's go ahead and find out. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that's on. Let's go ahead and swap out some hands while we're at it. And just as easily as they came out, they go right back in. So, yeah, I can't complain about that. That's really, really good looking here. So we have some hands on our guy. Let's talk about some posability now, why don't we? So get a good look at him here. Like, he wants to hug. He just wants to hug everybody. He's a hugger. Let's talk about articulation, though. Let's start here with the head, which is, as you already know, ball jointed, moves left to right. We got some shoulders that are a little stiff out the box, but they're moving, so they're ball jointed, go up and down all directions. Looks like they're not hindered too much, but they are just really stiff. Let's see, it looks like we have an elbow joint that can move around, along with the wrists that can bend and flex. That goes for both arms, of course, so there we go. That's at least a little bit more menacing. No, it still looks like he wants a hug. He just wants hugs. It's the face, you guys. It's this face, which is really good looking, and I like this helmet head so much. I should spend a little bit more time talking about that. I think it's really nice. I like this head a lot. It's just the facial expression that's on the robot version of it, or, you know, the helmeted version. He just looks so cute. I'm sorry. He is. He's adorable. You guys can see already this upper torso moves very nicely. Nothing in the way of that. That's all that moves in the chest. So just the chest, no waist turn here at all. As we pull out a little bit, you can see his legs. And this, let's see, he won't be able to really do a lot of high kicks because he has this tunic in the way. But we do have very nicely jointed knees. They're not, I mean, knees are the elbows of the leg, but yeah, you can quote me on that. These are nice. He's got a nice little hinge joint to them. And the ankles move as well. So yeah, good articulation here. I'm surprised how good the articulation is on this character. I was actually very worried because he is so enormous. I figured he wouldn't move as well. That was going to be an issue, but very much the opposite. He moves excellently. Let's do a few quick figure comparisons here. So here's Thanos, by the way, also made by Diamond, and look at how much bigger this Titanium Man is next to Thanos. I mean, he's literally just like palming. Yeah, his head actually fits in the palm of his hand. Wow, that's pretty ominous, isn't it? Okay, all right, let's get Thanos out of there. Let's get someone else in there. Let's try a McFarlane Warhammer 40K figure, and yeah, as you can see there, you know, these Warhammer 40K boys, they're pretty big, these Ultramarines here, but Titanium Man, still bigger. And he would look pretty good, actually, with a fresh coat of blue, but he could also fit into whatever the green Warhammer dudes are, too. But really, we got to compare Titanium Man here with some Iron Man figures, and luckily, I do have two of them here with me today, and both of them we have looked at on this channel in the past. So, on the left, I'm going to bring in Silver Centurion from Marvel Legends, and on the right, Silver Centurion from Diamond Select. And yeah, I already did a review of both these guys, did side-by-side comparisons of them, in fact. So if you want to see which one I think is superior, go ahead and watch that review. Spoilers, it's the Diamond Select one. But here's how they look next to Titanium Man. And the good news is, yeah, he's still enormous compared to all of them. And the nice thing about him being so enormous is that he really is in scale with either toy, whichever one you prefer to have, whichever one is part of your collection. You know, he fits in great with any of them because he is such a giant character. I mean, really, look at this here. And as you guys can tell, he's not actually side by side because there would just be no space if I did that. But, you know, if we put them side by side, you can see how big that difference is over here with the Marvel Legends versus how big it is here with Diamond Select. And even though Diamond Select figures are bigger than Marvel Legends in general, there's still such a comparable height difference between the two that Titanium Man fits in with anybody, and that's great. That's honestly exactly what you want. So here they are kind of facing off right now. Looks like they're about to maybe lock up pro wrestling style, I think. Or maybe Titanium Man just wants a hug. I don't really quite know, but let's have them facing off more or less. They're getting ready for a big old wrestling match, that's for sure. So yeah, no, I gotta tell you guys, I'm pretty happy with this Titanium Man here. I didn't know how I'd feel about him, but turns out I actually like him quite a great deal. There's a lot of good things I can say about this figure, and I feel like I've already said them a lot, besides the fact that he is awesome. Yeah, besides that fact, he's enormous. That part is really great. He's got this wonderful paint coat on him that just makes him really shine, really pop and stand out. Wonderful sculpting job, really great way to bring out a lot of simple details and add a lot of depth and really just good feeling to this character. You know, like, I like holding him. He's very tactile. This is a really great toy just to actually feel and hold and pose and move around with. And to move him around too, it's great because most of this articulation is unhindered. Exception being the legs and the hips. You know, he really can't do a front kick or get his legs in any other position, but, you know, he's a Haas. He's Titanium Man. It's like, you know, having Andre the Giant versus Rey Mysterio. You know, Andre the Giant ain't going to be doing moonsaults or Hurricane Ranas, so it's kind of okay in this instance if the legs are a little bit hindered in articulation. Everything else that matters is there. He's got some nice accessories too. The fact that we have the two different heads, I think is really cool. Another set of hands, a very nice feature as well. Did he need more accessories? No, not really. I mean, I can't think of any, but if you guys out there can think of any other accessories you want to see with this figure, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, stellar knockout figure, and yeah, like, you guys got to get this, especially if you bought that Iron Man figure that came out not that long ago either. That Silver Centurion Iron Man that we already looked at earlier in this video here, that's like one of my favorite Diamond figures of all time for sure, and it's a perfect match with this Titanium Man. So if you get the two together, you got an instant display, instant storytelling right there. I cannot rave about this figure enough, I cannot recommend it enough, and if you want to get it for yourself, go ahead and check it out using our Amazon affiliate links in the description below. If you buy it using our Amazon affiliate links, it costs you nothing extra, but helps out this channel a great deal, and that is something we will always thank you for. So if that review didn't sell you enough in this guy, I don't know what will, because really, it's really tremendous looking. And just looking at this guy again, I mean, really, this is an absolute knockout. This is such a good looking toy that I wasn't really expecting to be this good, but hey, isn't that how it always goes? So yeah, until next time, I am Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today, and don't forget, make sure you hug your favorite giant Russian robot man. We'll see you guys next time.